Hi friends, my name is Zara Premji from My Pretty Inkspirations, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Canada. And today I'm going to do a quick video to show you how to make this really cute and simple card. This card features the In Bloom bundle, and this is in our January to June mini catalog. And if you're looking along in the catalog, you can find it on page 45. This is sold as a bundle, however you can purchase either the stamp set or the dies separately, although I think they work really well together. And when you buy them as a bundle, you get the 10% discount. So the stamp set is a photopolymer stamp set and contains 21 stamps, both images and sentiments. And the dies, the Pierced Blooms dies, include 25 dies, and they are just gorgeous. Let's have a closer look. So here's the stamp set. It has some really great sentiments. You mean so much to me. You are amazing. Congrats, you're so fancy now. Happy birthday, you really are the best. And then it's got some really great floral images that you can use to stamp a background or just even stamp once or twice on your card. And then let's have a look at the dies. The dies they're called Pierced Blooms dies, so you can expect that there are some little pierced borders and markings on the actual dies. And when you run these through your die cutting machine, they will actually create the pierced look on your flowers, which I think creates a really beautiful effect. So I'm going to show you how to create this card. I've got some measurements for you. And I've already cut out a lot of the items needed for the card. So we are going to be using a basic white thick card base that measures 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And then we have a little black mat here. This is using basic black cardstock, and that measures 4 1/8 by 2 3/4. And then we've got our True Love Designer Series paper, also from our January to June mini catalog. And this is cut out using the stitched rectangles dies. However, you can just cut out a straight rectangle if you want. If you are using the stitched rectangles, the rectangle I've used here measures 4 by 2 5/8. So let's get started with the card. I've already die cut the flowers from using my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I just want to show you how beautiful they are when you run them through. So all of the beautiful pierced veining and the borders around the leaves, it's just gorgeous and adds so much detail to your card. There are also these dies that cut out the centers of the flowers, and there are probably different things you could use these for. But I've already cut everything out, so let's get started with assembling and stamping the card. So we'll start by using our bone folder to just burnish the score line here. And one thing that I like to do with my cards is to create a little bit of a splatter background on the card. So when I'm using a white card base or a white card layer especially, sometimes I find it just a little bit too stark. And so I just want to create a little bit of a splatter effect. And to do that, you can use a variety of different tools. I'm going to use my basic black Stampin' Write marker. These are actually sold individually in our annual catalog. Not all of our Stampin' Write markers are sold individually, but our basic black is. So you're going to take the basic black marker and use the brush tip, and I'm just holding the lid in my left hand, and I'm right-handed, and I'm just flicking the brush tip of the marker against the lid, okay? And it's just creating this very subtle, you could make it a little bit more intense. It's always easier to add, obviously, than take away. So you want to start with a really light hand, and it just creates this really nice splatter effect on the background of the card. Next, we're going to stamp our sentiment, and I'm using Happy Birthday, You Really Are the Best. And I'm actually going to use StazOn ink for this one because I want a really deep, intense sentiment. So I want it to be a really intense black. So I'm going to ink that up using my StazOn, and I'm going to line that up with the bottom edge of the front of the card base, and I'm just going to go straight down and straight up. And StazOn sometimes does stick a little bit to your cardstock, and so you just want to be sure to lift that straight up so that it doesn't create a little bit of a shadow or a double image. So next we're just really going to be assembling our card, and I'm going to start by putting the Designer Series paper onto the basic black mat, and I'm just using my Stampin' Seal here and applying some to each edge. Now the mat is cut just 1/8 of an inch larger than the actual designer series paper. So you want to be careful when you are sticking that down to your actual mat so that you get a relatively straight and aligned layer there. And then I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal again to adhere this to my card base. I created this for a swap with my team and had to do 15 of them to mail out. And I used some different patterns of the True Love Designer Series paper. So I just wanted to show you how the card looks with a different pattern. So this is with the diamond, and then this one is with the stripes. I love black and white stripes, although I really did love the sort of geometric pattern on that one as well. So now we're going to assemble our flower. So you're just going to take all of the flower pieces. Mine have gotten hidden underneath my grid paper here. And I'm just going to grab the center. And for this, you may want to use your liquid glue. So I'm just going to start by assembling my flower arrangement, and then I will adhere this to my card. So just putting a little bit of liquid glue there. And then I'm going to set this down. The colors that I have used for my flowers are Magenta Madness for the largest. Then I've used Petal Pink for this flower right here. And then I used Coastal Cabana for the slightly smaller flower. Whoops, that's quite a bit of glue there. It's gonna get hidden, so that's okay. And then I'm going to put some liquid glue on the leaf, which I've cut out using soft seafoam. And I'm just gonna have that peeking out from the side here. And the reason that I assemble these first is because I want to make sure that when I put this down on my card, that the leaf is not extending too far off the side of the card, otherwise it won't fit in an envelope. So this will allow me to figure out exactly where I want to position this on my card. So now we're going to put in the center, and I seem to have maybe misplaced one of the other little black centers. Oh, here we go, I found it. So there we go, we'll put a little dot of glue in the center here and just put the centers in the middle. For the Coastal Cabana flower, I'm not actually going to put one of these cardstock centers because I'm actually going to use one of my most favorite embellishments in the mini catalog called the matte black dots. Okay, so once that's done, I'm going to put this down here using dimensionals. However, I would like to first put down some twine. So I'm just going to use a white bow from the Snail Mail Twine Combo Pack, and I'm just going to tie a bow here. I'm going to keep the loops a little bit longer because I want them to show from behind the flower arrangement. So I'm not going to make them too small. I'm going to leave them fairly large, and then just snip that. And then I'm just going to take my Stampin' Seal and put a little strip right here. That's going to get covered by my flower arrangement anyway. So I'm just going to set that down, trim the ends a little bit. And then this part here will get stuck down using Stampin' Dimensionals. So I'm going to put a couple on the back of the flowers here. So maybe one up here, one down here, and then maybe we'll set one more over here. Peel them off. You could also use a mini dimensional on the back of this one here. Let's see if I can find my mini dimensionals just to get that sticking down to the card relatively well. Okay, so we will set that down and just position it to where you would like it to go. And again, you want to make sure that the leaf is not extending too far off of the card. So that is looking pretty good to me. And now we're just going to embellish with the matte black dots. So these come in a package of 160, and there are 2 different sizes that you can get in here. And so I'm going to just sprinkle a few on using my Take Your Pick tool. So I find this tool helps me a lot with picking these up off of the sheet. So I'm gonna just pick one up here and set that down there, and then maybe I'll do one a little bit farther down on a diagonal, and then I'll take one of these larger ones and put that in the center of my flower. So you want to put your embellishments down in odd numbers so that they create a little bit of a triangle effect. So that is it for the card, and I'll just show you the other ones as well so you can have a look. So I would love to hear which pattern you liked more. Do you like the stripes or do you like the diamonds? And if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Information about these products, the links to purchase them will be below in the description, and all of the details, including the measurements, supply lists, and instructions, will also be on my blog. If you need any of these products, I would love for you to shop with me if you do not already have a demonstrator. And if you would like a catalog sent to you anywhere in Canada, please do get in touch with me and I would be more than happy to send one to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye for now.